What is up? It is Monday. I waited 3 hours to take a trade today, but it was well worth it. Yeah, this morning I didn't know what the SPY was gonna do. I just felt uncomfortable. And you know what? If you don't feel comfortable, don't take a trade. Like you do not have to be in there. That's all I have to say. Trades can come way later in the day. But yeah, so this morning we're gapping down from Friday's close, and we're right below S3 in the market, and I just thought, I don't know, maybe if it gets above it and it holds, I'd be interested in a long somewhere. But we're below it. It could break S4. It could downtrend. Like, I just wasn't sure. So I actually this morning got rid of my pivots on this chart. We'll get rid of that. Take it off so you can see what I was seeing, and I was looking for some sort of range on the SPY to play, right? So very similar to how I play the stocks themselves. I thought, maybe we can find an area on the SPY that would be a good bounce point. So, we've got, this is just like a uptrend. This is just kind of an uptrend. We've got sort of a range setting up here. We've got this kind of area up here. And then this, we've got this area right here. That's a, that's my hand-drawn arrow for you. Anyway, so that's kind of the closest range we really have. So I was interested in seeing what happened if the SPY sold off to that area. The other area I was interested in is if it bounced and it went long. You can't really see it, but I've got a yellow line right here, which is basically like the bottom of this. So I was thinking if we bounce in the morning, we might get up to it and then like maybe it'll sell off, but we sold off instead, and so I was looking for a bounce here. So the stocks that I was watching, bring it up here. So I was watching Ford. And I brought this one up last week. I really like this area, this range on the daily chart. And I played it on Friday, a little bounce off of the top of this level. And then this morning when we opened, we're opening like in the middle of it. So now I'm looking at either the top of this range to play or the bottom of the range to play. And it all depends on what the SPY is doing to like what kind of trade I want to take off of it when it gets to one of those levels. But I knew that those were the only areas that I really wanted to play. So bring up the 5-minute chart here. And so yeah, it just kind of stayed in this area when it opened, and I didn't want to take any trades in here, right? Like here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range. When you're in here, you're just kind of like, I don't know, it's just, for me, this is just a messy place to play. Like I would rather wait for a place where people have rejected before or broken out of, or, rejected, broken out of, that kind of situation. So I just waited a really long time. When we finally got to the bottom of that range on the daily chart, which I have marked at 1909, the SPY was reaching that level, the range that I had drawn on it as well on the weekly chart. So I thought if the SPY can bounce here, I think that Ford could also bounce here. It was also already over its ATR for the day, and I felt like it had some things going for it in that regard. So I did try one entry and I got stopped out. That was my my limit order was set. I set a little limit order out there, and then I got stopped out, but I'll show you what I saw. I actually took a screenshot on the L2. I'll bring this up. So right after that, I have a white pen, so it's hard to see, but I'm circling this right here. This huge lot showed up at 1890, and we just needed to test it. We needed to fill that guy or something. Either it was a short covering or someone was buying into this, but it was there and something needed to happen with it. So it did go and test that. I'll put it on the 1-minute chart so you can kind of see my entries a little bit better. So I got in here, I got stopped out, and then it immediately wicked, filled that order, and held. And I was like, it's holding, the SPY is kind of holding, I'm just going to give it another go. So I gave it another go. Took a little while, but I knew that if it could get going, my target was at least VWAP. So I held up to VWAP. I took a partial at VWAP. I thought maybe we would get up to 20, and eventually I think it might have. But oh yeah, I got all the way back to the top of that range. I wasn't sure. But, I took a partial and was thinking, maybe we'd get to like this area right here and I would take another one. We got like pretty close to it and then rolled over. Oh no, it was actually right here. These higher time frames confusing me. Yeah, let's go here. Yeah, okay, that's better. So I did take a partial right before pre-market low because of this area here. I wasn't sure if it would actually hold above it. So I took one there. I took one when we broke through VWAP. And then when it had this sell-off right here, the SPY was pushing up against, I think it was S4. It had made like a little retracement and it was kind of pushing up against it. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go out and take my profit on this. I was thinking, maybe we would get back up to here. Maybe we would get to the top of the range, but that's okay. It ended up working out either way. So yeah, I got a nice little trade on that. And then I did take one more small trade on PTON later in the day. So I was looking at PTON. Bring up the daily chart. Or is it the weekly? Yeah, it's the weekly. Okay. So on PTON, we've had this huge sell-off, right? And so I'm like, well, I could get in short somewhere, but where would I get in short at? And so all the way back on the weekly chart, we've got this nice range, right? And we've broken below it. So now we're like in the middle of it. And so just like forward, I'm looking for the top or the bottom to play off of. The top was a little bit far away for the ATR to get to. So I was kind of looking for something within it that was a nice level that I could play. And that's what I did. So if I go to the 5-minute chart, I'll just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this is the level on PTON that's at the top of that range. So I'm thinking, that's a really good place to play. But at the same time, we've got this right here. And we're up here, we would already be extended for like over a full ATR move. This morning it got really close and I thought I actually missed my opportunity like to take anything off of this. But then later in the day when the SPY turned around, it pushed back up to it. Let me zoom in. Get a little closer for you to see. Whoops. No Z. I always hit Z. It's just a thing. Okay. So if we zoom in here, I think we'll do the 1 minute actually. Yeah, cool. So this morning when it got close to this level, I'm pointing at my screen as if that's gonna work. When it got close to this level this morning that I thought about maybe an intraday trade off of, when it got close to it this morning, there were still a bunch of asks to the top side. So that kind of like made me hesitate in like getting in any sooner. But then later in the day when we got back up here, we pushed through a bunch of orders and then it was just empty for a little while. Like for a few seconds at least, it was empty. And I was like, we're at this level, we've pushed through, we're empty, we're gonna get some sort of pullback. So I entered here, my partial just above previous day, I think that's maybe previous day high. And these pink lines, they're the same for me. They're all pink, previous day high or previous day low. So I took a partial there, and then my next target was this area here, and I actually had to leave. So I set a range order here and some more down below and then break even. And unfortunately, it missed me by a few cents as per my life. And then it got me out of break even. But I got a little bit of a move on it. That's a pretty solid move. And yeah, what is that? Like, it's a full 1 point move. Not too shabby. Anyways, yeah, it was a good day overall. Those are my only 2 trades for today. 3, I guess, if you count my first losing trade on Ford. But yeah, waited 3 hours for a trade, and you know what? It was worth it. I didn't get caught up in the craziness, and by the time I started trading today, my platform was working properly, and we were good to go. So yeah, if you don't like it, don't trade it. All right, peace.